In Module 4, we're going to consider issues related to curriculum and instruction, and that also means things like lesson plans and assessment, which are a big part of a teacher's life these days. We're going to ask you to read through Chapter 14 in the textbook. I think actually there might be another Chapter 15 as well. And also ask you to review some lecture notes that I've included on classroom management, which is very important, and also assessment, which is how you'll ultimately be judged. As a school principal, the number one thing that I saw from first-year teachers that was of concern to them, and frankly, of concern to me as well, was whether or not they were able to manage a class full of kids. You can imagine the frustration if you got in front of the kids and then felt like all of a sudden you weren't in control. So what we do in this module is we take a look at some research from Robert Marzano, and that has been kind of distilled down for your purposes so that you can understand a little bit more about how to think about being a good manager inside your classroom. As I've told teachers a lot of times, if you're not sure that you're in charge in a classroom, that is a major problem. So we don't really know until we're tested. And one of the big parts about getting yourself ready to be in front of a group of kids is to make sure that you are thinking like an authority figure in the class, and you're thinking about the right kinds of things when it comes to discipline and managing kids, and making sure that we as the adult teachers in the room remain focused on changing unproductive behaviors on the part of the students into productive behaviors. It's not about us being upset with kids and punishing kids and that kind of thing. It's always about trying to help the kids be better. So that's going to be a big part of this. We also are going to talk about the Common Core curriculum in this module. And one of the things that I've done in my research recently is to go back and dig up the entire history on where it is that Common Core came from, what it is, what it isn't, and the fact that Kentucky was the first state in the Union to adopt Common Core, and we're now already 4 years into testing under these new standards, while some other states are really struggling to still get this Common Core curriculum implemented. Obviously, lesson planning is going to be a big part of what you'll do as a teacher. It will be form a big part of what you do in future classes here at Eastern, particularly beginning with the 300 level courses and all the way through methods and obviously through your student teaching and the rest of your career. All we're going to do in 203 is introduce you to the lesson plan. You're going to see the form. You're going to understand something about the curriculum and how you have to match the curriculum that you are teaching to the right group. So you'll have an opportunity to tell us what class you imagine you're teaching and then find the content that will match that and just write up a very simple rudimentary lesson plan. But I will warn you, as you go forward into the 300 level courses, you'll be writing full-fledged lesson plans that will have more detail than what we're asking of you in this module. So also our discussion board this time around will focus on curriculum forces. What I'm referring to here are curriculum doesn't just come from thin air. People decide what it is kids ought to be taught in school. And there are different ideas about this. So groups have formed who focus on curriculum, and they battle with each other all the time. Curriculum is always changing. Somebody says, well, we ought to teach kids this, and another person says, no, that's all wrong, we should teach them that. So there are certain forces that impact the curriculum that we end up teaching in our schools. And our discussion board is going to be about that topic, and we'll chat through some of those things. And then finally, the quiz for this time around focuses on assessment, also curriculum and instruction, and so we'll wrap up the course with that. So hope you enjoy the module and do very well with it.